Do you feel stuck applying for jobs that don't excite you? And are you struggling to figure out which roles truly align with your career goals and values? Well, that's something that we all experience. And so today on the Prescription for Success mini podcast series, we are going to talk about some essential steps in any job search, which is defining your non negotiables. I'm Dr. Christy Taylor, career and executive coach, and the founder of Worxk Solutions LLC. And I've been there with you, right? Many of us have found ourselves in a position where we need a job right now today, and you may not know what to do. And while you may be in a position where you have to take a job to simply pay your bills, or maybe you're not excited about this job, there are just some non-negotiables that you should have in mind. These are the factors you won't compromise on because they don't align with your values, your goals, and your overall career happiness. It's one thing to take a job making less money or it doesn't have the title that you want, but there's another thing to take a job that doesn't necessarily align with your values. So let's explore this topic a bit further. I want to talk about those non-negotiables and how to use them to guide your job search with confidence. First of all, it really is about knowing your non-negotiables is going to set the foundation for a purposeful job search. Now, I get there's a distinction between I need a job right now versus a strategic job search. But even with the approach of I need a job right now because I have to pay my bills, you should not be willing to take a job that's going to compromise your values. And I mean your personal ethics, the things that you really hold most dear. I mean, we all value money, we all value time with family, but sometimes you have to just get somewhere and get your foot in the door, right? And so I understand the human side of that. It's really important that you know what your non-negotiables are because without knowing them, you're going to risk taking on roles that may not align with your values or your long-term goals. And this is when we're talking about doing more strategic job searches. Again, I'm making that distinction because sometimes we find ourselves in this situation where I might have to take a job that does not necessarily align with my overall career trajectory. But if that job does not compromise my personal values or ethics, and I need a job right now to make sure my bills are paid, I'm going to take that job, right? Um, but when we're talking about doing strategic job searches, you really need to be clear about what your non-negotiables are because now this means you're in it for the long game. I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, just making sure I make that distinction for you because I want to make sure that we embrace and acknowledge that human side of life is going to happen, right? And for as much as I am a coach, I think it's really important to always consider that when people come to me, that I have some individuals who are coming to me who are looking for that strategic job search, but then I have clients who are in the right, I need a job right now. And so whatever you find yourself in, situation that you find yourself in, the biggest thing with a non-negotiable in that case is that you don't want to compromise your personal values or things or your personal ethics simply to have a job. Now, when it comes to a strategic job search, your non-negotiables, they're going to help you to identify the opportunities that really truly fit for you while confidently allowing you to confidently say no to those that don't. Having a clear sense of what your non-negotiables are or what you're willing to compromise on is going to help you to feel more empowered and to really focus on what matters most. Whether it is a salary that works for you, truly understanding the work culture, opportunities for growth within the organization, and to have work-life balance, you have to really keep in mind what is a fit for you and put your energy into pursuing that. Again, it doesn't take away from the fact that you might need a job right now, but just because you have a job right now, a short-term disposition is not there's a distinction between a short-term disposition and a long-term opportunity, right? And so just because I might have to take a job at McDonald's or doing something now, and I've been there. I've had to take second jobs. I've had to take jobs at temp agencies. I've been there with you. So the things that I'm telling you is not anything new to me. You still always will have a long-term strategic career strategy. So when it comes to really identifying your career values, because that is really what is going to be the basis of you knowing what your non-negotiables are, you want to start by reflecting on what matters most to you in your career. I want you to think about your previous roles, what worked well, what didn't. For example, do you value flexibility, opportunities for advancement, or a collaborative team culture? And I want you to consider how these values align with your personal goals and lifestyle. Take a moment to just really write down your top 5 career values as a starting point for defining your non negotiables. Now, when it comes to going beyond values, you need to be practical. Beyond values, think about the practical elements of a job that are essential for you. This could be anything such as salary expectations, benefits, remote work options, or location. Ask yourself questions like, what is my minimum acceptable salary? How important is job stability to me? When it comes to salary too, you if the job that you're applying for, if you're going to be maybe having the opportunity to move or relocate, you may have your salary at a certain standard for where you live now. Like I live in the DC area now. Cost of living is much higher than if I were to move to somewhere like Mississippi or Texas. So with that in mind, I would be willing to take a lower salary if the cost of living in the area where I'm relocating to is cheaper. So just keep those things in mind, because even when you are just the fact when you're looking for a job and you're being offered a salary, if that location is going to, if that job is going to cause you to relocate, then you're going to have to look at the cost of living in that area. Can you be just as comfortable, if not more comfortable, on the salary that they're offering you? Be upfront and honest with yourself. Again, especially if you are a mid-career professional, you have pretty much at this point stabilized what your salary is going to be. And so don't be afraid to ask for that and more, depending on what the scope of responsibilities for the job are. The other thing that I want to point out to you is you really not only need to be honest about the financial and logistical needs, but you need to consider the long-term goals. Your non-negotiables, they need to align with your long-term career aspirations. And again, and I'm talking about from a strategic job search, not just to hear I had to take a job in this moment. Because when you had to take a job in this moment, that short-term job, when I'm talking about aligning strategy, aligning values, I'm really more so focused on your personal values, right? And your personal ethics. But when we're talking about this long-term game, this long-term strategy, this is where I'm saying to be holistically strategic in terms of your values, your ethics, and really what your non-negotiables are. For instance, if you want to move into leadership, you need to prioritize roles with mentorships and growth opportunities. If building work-life balance is a goal, you need to look for companies known for flexibility and a supportive culture. I used to be big on chasing titles. It was something that I really wanted. I thought I had to be a college president or I had to be this thing or that thing. But I have found that I have been able to navigate in environments where I have a little bit more flexibility, as well as a little bit more personal freedom and being able to make a lot more money, even if I don't have the necessarily the title that I want. So you have to pick and choose what's going to be important to you. Be flexible in that list in terms of how the universe might bring you that peace of mind that you need to be able to work your job. The other thing I'm going to tell you is to rank your non-negotiables, right? So once you're clear on what it is that you want, you're thinking ahead, that's ensuring that the roles that you pursue today are going to set the stage for your future success. But not all non-negotiables carry equal weight. So you need to rank them by importance. Identify your top 3 deal breakers that you are unwilling to compromise on. Yes, I make more money, but I take the train to work every morning. That was not something that I was used to doing. So um, I took the peace of mind and the money over the convenience of, oh, my job is 15 minutes away. For example, with you personally, you might rank work-life balance first, followed by salary, and then team culture. For some people, team culture comes first because you're at work 8 hours a day. You need to prioritize your non-negotiables because this is going to help you to evaluate opportunities more effectively. You can tell from the moment that you walk into that interview and the comments that people are leaving online how that's going to go. I always tell clients that how they treat you in the interview is how they're going to treat you on the job. So pay attention to that kind of stuff. When you are reviewing your job descriptions or going through interviews, and this is my final thoughts on this topic, I want you to compare the role that you are looking at to your list of non-negotiables. And you need to be asking yourself specific questions to clarify whether a position aligns with your priorities. It really is about the priorities. That is what a strategic job search is about. So for example, if you might ask about career development programs, company culture, or remote workplaces, but a remote work policies as a part of your intentional strategy. But my recommendation also is to research that stuff before you even go into that job interview. Know what you're getting yourself into. And then some of that stuff you have to be strategic about knowing it before you even go to the job interview, because some of those questions, depending on what it is, I think career development is a safe question. You don't want to ask that in the middle of the interview. You should use your non-negotiables as a compass to guide your decision making throughout the process. Remember that, again, there's a distinction between the here and now. I need a job now. As long as that job doesn't align, doesn't it those it doesn't make me compromise my personal values or ethics, I'm okay with taking something temporarily so that I can continue to take care of myself. But I'm going to continue to conduct a strategic job search that is more in line with the trajectory that I want to take my career. And it just depends on who you are as a person, right? So it could go one of two ways in terms of the here and now versus that long-term strategic job search. One of the things I want to tell you, if you're ready to take control of your career and find the right role, I want to invite you to check out our website, worksolutions.com. Over the past 2 years, we've put so much content on our blog. We have free guides. There's so much that you'll find a free guide packed with practical tips and tons of resources to help you navigate your job search with confidence. We post blog articles every week, everything from resume and interview prep to everything that you need to get you started on the job. The other thing is, I want to invite you to come hang out with us on January 23rd at 7 p.m. The Land Your Dream Job Free Workshop, where I'm going to discuss 10 proven strategies to elevate your career, showcase your strengths, secure your dream job with confidence. All you have to do is click the webinar link in this post, and you'll be able to quickly register for that. And again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I've included my calendar link, as well as a link to the website and the free webinar that we are hosting on the 23rd. I hope that you enjoy your Saturday and have a great